Welcome to Middle Fingers Up, the show where we hold our heads high and our middle fingers higher. I'm your host, Kieran McKay. Well, welcome to episode 3. I have been waiting to record this episode, I don't know, for what it seems like a long-ass time. I have stopped so many organic conversations in their tracks when the three of us would text and talk because I wanted to save this or save that for the episode. We started out as coworkers working for a not-for-profit organization that serves the community and their mental health. We worked up the ladder from frontline to leadership at the same time and had a lot of things in common, both professionally and personally. For everything we have in common personally, work had always been prioritized over friendship. But I did not want this episode to hijack my previous workplace time because this episode is about 3 friends sharing a milestone together, the big 4-0. So with the 3 of us hitting our 40s at the same time, together we embarked 3 different paths, which was really interesting for all of us to kind of see it happen around the same time. And, you know, I kind of got thinking, if turning 40 is this predicted taboo, how come our conversations start becoming more than just about the saggy boobs or where's the best place to purchase those tight-ass cougar print pants? Don't get me wrong, we talk about everything in between saggy boobs and cougar print pants with tube tops, but we always created a space in our relationship to allow each other to talk about what the transition has been like, going into 40 as an individual. And I've really appreciated that for myself. So like I said, it's been similar in some ways for the 3 of us turning 40, but not quite in a lot. So I'm so excited to have my 2 buddies who have been sitting here so patiently letting me talk, Amy and Amanda, today. So again, thank you for joining me today on episode 3. I just want to send out a big thank you to all of my supporters that have been sending me feedback and topics of interest for future episodes. I really appreciate this because I'm literally just starting out. Super anxious and nervous about this. And so getting those texts and those messages from all of you saying this is a good thing makes me feel like it's a good day because it's about serving you. And together, if we can, we will be taking care of ourselves through these conversations. So you can reach me at info@mfupodcast.com if you have any feedback or any future episode ideas. So welcome, Amy and Amanda. Thank you. Thanks for being here today, officially at our first taping together.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thanks for having us. My hands are sweaty.
Amy's going through some, I don't know what's happening over there, Amy.
It's a life change.
Fill us in.
Yeah, I woke up this morning with a smoker's rasp. I don't know where it came from. I sound like 80s sexy Kathleen Turner, not current Chandler Bing's mom, Kathleen Turner, for the record. And so I've got a bit of a sniffle, so I apologize in advance. But we're going with sexy. Yeah, thank you.
It does. Super sexy.
Phoebe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Phoebe with her... Cat. No, it was my...
Sticky shoes.
Yeah. So.
That's hilarious.
Hopefully it's not too annoying, but it is what it is.
No, I'm sorry. And it's fine. But thank you for sharing that. It sounds sexy to me.
Good. That's what I'm going for.
Well, good. I mean, it's going to be your voice that you're going to use this whole episode, so we'll see. We'll get feedback. But I just want at this moment try out this segment that I'm trying. I did it with my brother Cam, as you know, and his wife Nana when we taped episode 1. It was my little get to know me episode. And so I'd like my guests to start off with, kind of like what do you want to put your middle fingers up to this week or in general in life? So an opportunity to share something that you want to get off your chest, because that's sort of the goal. That's what this conversation is supposed to be about, hopefully. And also I'm willing, because you guys know how I love to talk, I'm willing to give up my middle finger of the week if anyone wants to send me any ideas or messages, or if that driver really cut you off. Let me know and I will help you get it off your chest. So before we learn a little bit about you two, why don't we start with something that you would like to put your middle fingers up to? Amy, you go first.
I'm going to go with dating apps. I have so many things to say about dating apps. And I definitely have my middle fingers as high as they can go because it's wild.
I wouldn't know. So I'm like, right, Amanda?
Yeah.
Like dating apps. It's so weird to hear you,
I feel ya.
you say those words.
Yeah, it's
So,
wild.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. We're gonna learn more about
Yeah.
those in a minute here.
Yeah.
Amanda, what about for you?
For me, I think I'm going to pick my uterus.
Oh.
Mostly, I just don't understand why that bitch has to shed once a month. Like,
Deadly.
you
The
know?
period.
Yeah. We get 1 good week out of a month.
Mm-hmm.
Hormones before, hormones after, bleeding
Pain.
for a week, pain, cramps. It's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychosis.
It's insane. And I just want to say that it's very interesting you share that today because in episode 1 with Cam and Anna, I put my middle finger up to my period because I think I shattered a lot of relationships around me in that month. I had a tough one, so I apologize. So I don't know, like that's 2 times now in a row. Maybe we need to come back to this topic and talk about it.
Yeah,
think so.
definitely. I feel like people don't talk about it enough. And as you get older, it gets more and more
Yeah.
wild. And no one tells you about that.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about what happens to you.
What actually happens.
Yeah.
Well, so I agree. My wonderful next door neighbor friend, who I'm hoping will join me in a conversation, just found out, and it was quite a confusing process that, you know, she's starting menopause. And the thing that like is really upsetting is the fact that she was left with no understanding, and she's like, how many years have we not figured out? And so I think it's definitely a conversation we should circle back to. So let's drop a pin in it for now.
Yeah, definitely go back though, because as a person who like doesn't have like resources, I would say, so like probably a lot of people don't. The more people are talking about it, the better it is. So I've definitely thought about a few things, menopause being one of them. Like I don't have a reference point about that.
Yeah.
And like Google is not that helpful.
Well, I always tell Kelly, I'm like, you're my future.
Yeah.
So please, you know, keep me, and also for women to be able to talk about it while with each other when your friends are going through it too. So I'm like, listen, I'm not there yet. I know I'm not too far behind. So like lay it on me if you want to give your friends or like go, you know, because the more we talk it out, maybe the less confusing will be about it. And the fact is it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
Well, clearly, right? Like waking up in these sweats and all that, you know, maybe not the kind of sweats you've been waking up in lately, Amy, but you know, okay. So it's my turn now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to put my middle finger up to my 9-year-old because
Shout out to
that
T.
motherfucker. Yeah. Shout out to T from you. That motherfucker lately has been so up my ass every time I decide to sing a song. And, like, I'm in a good mood. I'm walking around singing some Justin Bieber. I'm walking around, the other day was Mariah Carey, getting ready for the holidays. And that bitch is laying it on me in my house, telling me that I need to stop singing because I'm ruining everyone's moods. So, middle fingers up to you, T. Mom still loves you, though.
F-utarians.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't know. Hopefully, what do you guys think? Do you think I should keep doing that? Do you think it's
It's fun.
put your middle fingers up, things that we can talk about?
Yeah, I like it.
I like
it's
it
hard
too.
to limit.
I know,
There's
right?
so many.
So many things that
So
we can
many
go
things.
on. Yeah, I tell you, I know. Like the lady in HomeSense the other day,
Right.
she almost won the
Drivers.
winning spot. Drivers, yeah, for sure.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
I
I like the segment. Keep it.
Okay, so we'll do. Thank you.
have my vote.
Yay! Yay! I got 2 votes, so I appreciate that. Well, you know, we're figuring it out. I'm so excited you're here because we're figuring it out as we go, and I don't really know where this is going to go, but what I'm hoping is it's going to open doors to, like you said, Amy, having more conversations about the things that are happening every day, but somehow we're expected to brush under the carpet. And that's really why I wanted to have the 2 of you on today to talk about turning 40. And, you know, before we get into that, I'd love for everyone to get to know you guys a little bit so that they know why I adore you both so much and why I really wanted you here today. So, Amanda, if you want to share maybe 3 things about you that people can hear about and get to know.
Sure. So I decided I would tell you 3 words about myself that I I think probably best describe me. One, I think I'm hilarious.
You
Agreed.
Are.
Right?
You're a funny
so you know,
motherfucker.
Stamp
like
of
to think
approval.
that.
Yep.
Fairly loyal to people. I got got my girls' backs, my boys' backs,
very
and I'm a little bit cunty.
Oh, I
So
like that one.
people don't know that about me. They
Can
think, oh,
confirm.
she's so nice, but you've got a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
yeah.
have an Asian temper that you don't want to mess with.
But I will say, it is very nice to hear you share these 3 descriptions of you, because I used to share an office with you for a long time. And I'm always known as the cunty one. And I am, that's fair. But man, this girl, like, if you're going to catch her at 11:59, right before lunch hour,
Little
or
hangry.
right before her uterus decides to do her thing, seriously.
Or on a Friday.
I was going to
Or
say
on a
any given Friday.
She has those hoop earrings
Yeah.
on, which she was wearing today, so
true.
I'm not sure if we're getting the, like, Amanda on edge.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe that's Mandy
my
Sparkles.
My favorite, yes, Mandy Sparkles.
For those of you
No,
that don't
no,
know.
Mandy Glitter.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, it's
Mandy
Mandy
Glitter.
Glitter.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, Amanda has been doing what for 10, 11 years?
Yeah, 12 or 14.
Oh,
Wow.
okay, never mind. Not 10, 11.
Oh, cancel.
COVID took over. Some
Yeah,
of us,
COVID,
so
right?
didn't
Always
count.
add a year on, as
Yeah.
Carrie says.
Yeah.
Bollywood dancing. Is that what we call it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Amy and I had the opportunity to go see Amanda perform at some fancy schmancy theater downtown.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, Amy, but like leading up to it, I was throwing a little temper tantrum because I was like, fuck, we have to go to this. Why did we say we're going to go? And Amy's like, you're the one that asked for the tickets. And I'm like, I know, but at the time I thought I wanted to do it. Now we're here and this is going to be a bunch of like a kid talent show. And I love my kids, but wouldn't even want to go see their show. And so Amy's like, okay, all right. We're going. We get there. We're in there. And the lights, camera, and oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
Like this show that was put on.
Yeah, it was great.
Right? And like, remember us talking about how most of the dancers were women and women of all ages and all cultures.
Yeah.
That was the best
The best
thing.
part, yeah.
Right? So you have maybe this grandma that by daytime is at, Michael's buying knitting gear.
Yeah.
And is going to cook you the warmest meal when you get home.
Yeah.
But by night, man, she's belly
dancing. I know. I never
In a crop top.
In a tube top.
In a tube top.
Yeah, like I'm fighting that future, and then I see this lady, and I was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
Embrace
If that lady can be in glittery pants,
Yeah.
a tube top, belly dancing,
Yes.
like the world is my oyster.
Totally.
Yeah,
it was
unbelievable.
amazing. It was so, thank you for, and
Yes.
sorry about trash talking you, but thank you for teaching me that we need a after school activity,
Yeah.
Amy, because that was amazing.
There
Like,
you
go.
You
I
can
know.
join.
like you guys were part of a community.
Yeah, it was
Yeah?
awesome. Yeah, watching them all perform and all that stuff. Thinking about all the practice and the time,
Right?
the the variance or the number of performances, like how do people remember that, like
Yeah.
the sheer like execution
Totally.
of that much stuff. Like I was just like, wow, I watched this woman do all these things all day plus all these other things, and then this, like, you think, oh, Amanda's going to dance class, whatever,
Right.
and then you see it and you're like, whoa, dude, like I am, one, so lazy, two, so lazy, and three, I need a hobby.
Guys are
And
on
like,
dating apps all
I
day.
know,
Yeah,
oh my God,
just
That's your
scrolling.
hobby.
I
Good.
wish I wasn't, let me tell you. But anyway, yeah.
So what's the place, your dance company?
Spark.
place?
Spark.
Right,
Spark
yeah.
Productions.
Oh, look
Anyway,
at that.
so how we got to this was Mandy Glitter.
Yeah, we
And
named
so
her that.
we were talking because she did this amazing performance, and then she has to pose at the end, and I snap a picture of her, and Kieran and I are giggling to ourselves because we can't believe what we're seeing. It's amazing, but it's also like not the Amanda that we know.
No.
And
No blazer, no
yeah.
computer, no meeting this.
no,
and tell
just
me more
hips,
of that.
just hips and wrists
Sequins.
and sequins. And so we're joking around, Kieran and I, and we're talking about Robin Sparkles from How I Met Your Mother, and so Amanda has now turned into Mandy Glitter, and there will be T-shirts available in the future
yeah. Hit
with
us
this
up.
The merch.
pose. Yeah,
Totally merch, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
You can
you.
fund your podcast on our
Oh,
merch.
yeah. So, Amy, three
Yeah.
things about you that we don't know about or that you want to tell everybody about.
I'll go with what Amanda did too, and just give 3 words I would
Okay,
say
yeah, I
that
like it.
people would use to describe me. I chose nice ones because I think people often choose not nice ones.
What do you say when people get to know you or know you? They
No, when
just,
actually, it's the opposite. When people don't know me, they choose words that are not an appropriate match
Yeah.
for who I am actually. So like I chose words
Sometimes
that I think
you
people
give them a reason though.
totally. Well, sometimes they give me a
Yeah,
reason.
that's true. Too.
Let's get
two-way street.
clear here. Anyway, I chose bold, and I chose cheeky, and I chose integrity.
Ooh,
And I think
good ones.
Yeah, I think
love
those
it.
three.
I love it. I was telling Amy today when she showed up, I wore my red lipstick for her. If you know me, I love red lipstick. It's my favorite color to wear. When in doubt, that's what you wear. And Amy wears red lipstick too. So I thought, I'll put my red lips on because, she'll wear her red lipstick and she's not feeling well. So I have to give her like credit for showing up today and doing this. But I was telling her today that, and Amanda, like if you'll agree, but I think Amy's personality is a red lipstick.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Bold.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
There should be the red
Vibrant.
color I'm wearing today is Miley.
I love it.
But I think we need an Amy.
We do. You know what? The red that I have right now, I messaged Kieran immediately when I put it on
you
and was
did.
like, "You need this." And I was hesitating on buying it, but I've known that I've wanted it for a long time. I know this is like a sidebar, but
I love it. That's all we're doing.
number one, I love Kardashians. Like for the record,
yeah.
I know that that's like a bit of a thing lately, but whatever. I love them. I don't care. Whatever.
I'm wearing my full-on
Yes.
long one-piece Kardashian outfit right now.
I love it.
Because I'm with you too. I love them too.
it. And so
I love that I hate them. I hate that I love them.
I don't know. I don't really know how
of
I
both.
feel, but
Both.
I watch all of the episodes. I always have. It's like a part of my sort of like self-care in the evenings to watch like
Thursdays. I haven't seen this week's episode, so don't.
Neither have I. I didn't watch it yet. We should watch it together. Anyway, we'll wear our Kylie Cosmetics Mary Jo.
Okay, I have to
Deadly
get that 'cause
red.
I don't have
Oh.
Kylie Cosmetics yet.
It's good. You
She's
can
one of my least favorite ones, though.
Yeah, totally. I don't really like. I don't really
I get it,
care
yeah.
about like that kind of stuff, but also I was like, I don't really want to contribute to like craziness, but
But I'm
When a
dying
good
to try
pro-
the Skims.
listen, when a good product is a
Listen,
good
Linda.
product. Yes, listen,
Yeah,
Linda. When a good product is a good product, then you got to go.
Who cares?
Like Skims, you're right. A really well-made, well-marketed whatever, like
Yeah.
it does what it says it's going to do. The Mary Jo Red by Kylie Cosmetics is the best red lipstick, and I have probably 25 red lips.
Yeah.
It stays. It gets pretty dry at the end. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
she
But
said.
it's a perfect. it's a perfect red. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know what? So I was lazy. I did this exercise of 3 things with 3 words as you chose because I didn't want to do your bio. And I'm so glad I didn't because you two couldn't have done it, or I couldn't have done it better than you two. So thank you for sharing a little bit about you.
You're welcome.
So a part of why we're here today, why I've been dying to do this, and I think you guys have been just as excited on board, otherwise you wouldn't be here, is dedicating an episode to our 40s because our media culture cultivates a lot of fear around aging for a woman. That's like aging gracefully and optimistically, all while having this career and this perfect family and cooking dinner and Pinterest, and like it just goes on and on. And to me, I feel like a lot of my experience being around people that were turning 40, like first of all, my mom was I'm 41. We're all 41, right? You two turn 42 way before I do next year. My
Way
mom was
before.
my age when I was 20. So
That
growing,
is wild.
right? Growing up, 40. Yeah, my mom had me when she was 20. So growing up, well, that's the age we know. I don't know. My mom's mysterious. She could be a different age, right? But the age that she went with when she came to Canada, so she's 20. So
Well, and at that time, that was like, between 20 and 25 was like the time that
Normal.
women were having families.
Totally.
And the fact that we're the age that we are.
Yeah.
And Kieran, if you don't already know, Kieran has kids. We mentioned T earlier. Shout out to T again. But like your kids are not 20.
no, my oldest is 11.
It's wild.
Yeah, right. And, I think going back to why we wanted to do this was it just started to feel like growing up, maybe for you guys too, 40 was like this age, like that over the hill. And there's this like list that society expects from you off this list, right? Like get married or go to school, get married, have the kids and the house and the car.
White picket fence.
Right, right? All that stuff. And so somewhere along the line, I mean, I think in our 20s when we're immortal, we're like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. But somewhere along the line, we fall into this trap or whatever we want to call it, right? Like we decide, shit, we're gonna go down that path, or if I don't, then I don't have much in common with my friends and the people around me, because most people are going down this, you know, what is that, first comes love, then comes marriage, and you know, and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. And so I just think there's this pressure as women we already have built into us. If the people and things around us are cared for, then we're cared for, right? So we already have this pressure, and now we have to look a certain way when we're aging, and it, you know, the list goes on. And I don't know, I'm a fan of Party City. People call me Party Mom, but if you're in Party City,
you do throw an excellent party. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you very much. Holiday yes. Napkins. I'm featuring them, as you can see on that table there. They're on their way. But like going through Party City, you go through the aisles, right? When I'm going to my kid birthday theme party, and I'm like, every time I walk by that 40, you know, like I had my family do a roast for me at my 40th, and it was about
amazing.
It thank you. It was fun. And it was just like, let's just make fun of me and talk about me and dress up and all that, because I don't know, I've had a different like belief, I guess, of what 40 is, because we're here now.
Yeah. And
so I think, you know, with those decorations and those like saggy boobs and the grandma with the cane, you start to think, okay, like, what is 40 supposed to, is this what it's supposed to be?
Do I need to be old now?
Yeah.
And
40
also,
felt
like,
so old when you were young.
Yeah. When I was 20, 40 was like really
ancient.
old.
Yeah.
Or like sophisticated, or
have my shit together.
Yeah, like
40?
you were, I don't know, you were wearing like knit.
Hey, I'm wearing knit right now, so shut up.
No, not that kind though. Not that kind. No,
not
like
that kind. The fancy kind.
Well, I mean,
your kind is not fancy.
With the pearls.
You're the age. Exactly.
You think you're better than me?
No, but like you are. If Kate, okay. Like the Golden Girls, all right? Like I realized that those ladies were like retirees, but like when you think about right now, like Blanche. Now that I'm 40, I'm sorry. Yes, you are Blanche. We've already talked about this. I got it. But like when you think about when we were young and we watched that show, those ladies seem so old, and they're like, you know, they're supposed to be in Miami. There are these old ladies. I don't, if you haven't seen the show, check it out. I'm pretty sure it's on like streaming. It's hilarious and totally inappropriate and hilarious.
Right.
I know I said that 3 times, but it's like
but it's hilarious.
It's one of the best shows. But now that I'm 41, 60, I am not going to look like that when I am 60.
Yeah.
I am not going to have a roller set. I am not going to wear a nightgown with a matching chemise that goes over it. I'm not, do you know what I mean?
I don't even know what a chemise is.
I
Is
will.
it the long muumuu?
Yeah, but it's like the same color as your nightie.
The Florida grandmas.
Yeah, 100%. Like Miami
floral,
chic. Like, yeah there's like
Miami chic.
retirement home chic. Like I'm not.
But did you think about turning 40? Like, because you're talking about thinking about it when you were 20. Like, as you got closer to 40, did you guys start thinking about like what your identity was going to be at 40?
Dude, when I turned 25, I crawled under my blankets and cried for like a full day, because I was like, are the decisions that I'm making the ones that I'm supposed to be making? Because this is the rest of my life.
Yeah.
At 25, I was terrified. I'd like made decisions about my career. I'd done all these things, and it was good. Like I was making good decisions. I was like making good money at the time. I'd started my career officially. I was done college, whatever. And like, I couldn't even picture 40.
Yeah.
Like there was no way.
Right.
To think about that. And I don't even, like, I think I thought about 40 when I was like 38.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, that shit's coming. And
yeah.
people kept asking, and I was like, I don't know, man. Yeah. It's kind of like though, like, it's kind of like when you're getting married. Some of us are married. Kieran's married. I was married. Amanda
called off a wedding.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't want to throw her under the bus there. I wanted her to answer. I was like giving her the side eye because you can't see us. But like, people ask you, like, is it different? Does it feel different? Like, what are you going to do when you're married? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if I'm just not a dreamer in that way, but like, I didn't picture like feeling any different, even though I think you do. Like when you do get married, there's something weird that happens that's like kind of unexplainable, like the commitment and like the process is something. Right. But anyway, it's the same when you turn 40. Like you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what it means. People talk about it. They hype it up. Some people talk about it negatively, like the saggy boobs or whatever. And I'm not anti cougar pants because I think, why not if you can? But 40 was like a mystery. But also,
because like a mystery in what sense?
Well, one, you don't really hear about it. You only hear
talks about it.
Yeah, you hear like speculation.
Yeah. To me, that's like giving birth.
Oh my God.
That's
please don't.
And I know I'm.
You know how I feel about that,
right? I'm not going to talk about I mean, people be mad because my birth stories were like
you sneezed and it came out.
I sneezed and my kids came out, but it in some ways how I compare that is because it's a thing that's inevitable for a lot of people, or at least a conversation that's inevitable, right? Like having kids is all around us. Turning 40 is going to happen. I mean,
try being 40 and not having children.
Right.
That's a whole other can of worms.
And I'm sure all the conversations of what's wrong with you, why not, or whatever, right? But I think that's the beauty of hitting this age, is where we start to dial that noise down a lot more. Like, you know, I don't know, I always say all press is good press. Like, if people want to talk about me or talk about the fact that you didn't have kids, or Amy, you're recently going through a divorce. Yeah. You know, and being 40 and going through that, I'm sure it's that, midlife crisis. In fact, I remember at one point when we all worked together, got asked at some point if we were going through a midlife crisis?
Yes.
Right? And because it's supposed to happen around that time. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm having a lot of crisis of confidence about lots of things in life, but a midlife crisis, like what? And that's when we started calling it the second act. Yeah. Because you were just going through your divorce.
Yeah. 40 was a rough year.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. In the midst of COVID, where we're already isolated.
Yeah.
But it actually had nothing to do with being 40. No. It wasn't a midlife crisis. It wasn't it had nothing to do with that.
No.
That's a good point.
It just happened at that time. Yeah. And I'm sure there's like lots of contributing factors, like you said, like COVID, whatever, and things like that. But yeah, it wasn't because I was 40.
No. Right. The decision, you didn't turn forward and be like, I'm going to get divorced.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
But the people around us, they start to put their own story together. And I think that's what I'm saying, is like we're starting to dial that down, because people around you would think, because she turned 40, she's now going through a midlife crisis, and now she wants to put her cougar pants and tube top on.
And divorce her husband.
Right.
And get on dating apps. Oh my God.
Isn't that every woman's dream at 40?
Yes.
Like, what?
I hope not. Because I'm living it.
And it's more of a nightmare than a dream?
It's not that great.
Well, like, because when you dated back in ancient years, there was no such thing as dating. So, like, Amanda and I, we go to brunch together when we can. And, Amanda and I sit there, like, in awe. What? Because I don't have friends. I don't have friends around me that are on dating apps. Or if they are, like, we just don't talk about it. And so you're the only one that I know that's connected to this dating and this dating app at our age.
Yeah, what it's like a horrible and wonderful experience, and like experiment at the same time.
So it's like walking through a jungle where there's pretty parts and then and
terrifying parts.
Yeah, like maybe one of the words I should have chose is like a risk taker or something like that. Like I like doing things that are like adventurous and risky, and this kind of feels that way, but it's also like anxiety provoking and like makes me like reflective in a way that I wasn't really planning on, or like thoughtful about things in a different way. But yeah, it's like, it's not, there's no way to prepare for like what is happening. But also like after, deciding to divorce my husband and making changes, but then also like doing the work, like therapy and like reflection and all that kind of stuff, like recognizing out of that was like, there were really good things in my marriage that I'm like really proud of. But then there's also like things that I'm not happy about, obviously, because I'm going through that. And now I have to like translate like the things that I learned and relearn the person that I am as an independent, who is like a lot of personality with a lot of like wants and ambition and like rigidity in some things, and like also try not to like apply my feelings about what happened in my marriage and its ending onto other people. Like it's really an interesting process. So like while the dating thing might not be like,
but would you say like the dating is therapeutic as well? Because it sounds like you're discovering something while you're going through this weird
I'm choosing
moment.
to see it that way.
Well, and do you feel like you know better now what you want, you know about yourself,
100%.
what you're going to put up with, what you're
But is that a problem? Because I see some single friends or people out there that have their long list of things that they're looking for that, you know, like these dating shows on TV where you're like, you're not going to get a tall but short but fat but skinny but blonde but white but black but brown person. Like, stop contradicting yourself. So is it actually, like, I don't know, is that better that you know that you want?
I feel like the things that I'm like are like the things that I'm looking for are like particular attributes and like how interacting with somebody makes me feel about the things that I want for myself.
And you only know what happened in the last however many years in your marriage, right? Like that's your closest connection. So like now you're trying to find this new space.
Yeah. Like, okay. So if I go back in time when all of this stuff first happened, I was like I talked to you guys. I talked to a few people. I'm pretty private. So like, I wasn't really forthcoming for a time about this whole situation.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
So, no, hold on. Like, I don't know if that's embarrassing, but Amanda and I, we worked with Amy, as we've said. So we had no fucking clue. Yeah. Like, sometimes I'm like, is this a serial killer woman? Because all you men on dating apps, you should be aware. Not being able to keep it together about some things where you're frustration because you're human, right? Yeah. But this... like your work,
it was like a solid 2 or 3 months.
It was, and then she came into our office, and remember she closes the door, and we're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Why did you choose? If I can ask, why did you choose to not tell people?
I was, I think part of it was like shock. Like, is this really happening?
Mm-hmm. Like disbelief.
If I tell anybody what's happening and I decide to stay with this person. Mm-hmm. Even though I'd already made the decision, but I was like questioning, you know, when you're with somebody for a long time, 12 years, I was with this person and we were like best friends. This whole situation was very confusing. And my husband did something bad. He was like unfaithful in our marriage, which is extremely hurtful. Mm-hmm. And so I knew like immediately in like my heart and my brain, like I can't be with this person if he's going to disrespect me like this, given our history and the things we've built together, this life, and whatever motivated him to do this is for him to figure out. And it actually, you know, while I play a part in that, like brain wise and emotion wise, like it's not about me. Like I didn't make that decision. And so I made sense of that really quickly, but also I started like confusing myself or trying to talk myself into things or out of things, trying to make sense of somebody else's behavior. It's not possible.
You're saying you did that because then you have a reason to stay?
Yeah. Or to go. Like I was like, I need to confirm what I'm thinking about doing. Like
in order to make the stay or go decision.
Yeah. And so I was like,
did you know in your heart though?
Immediately. Immediately. I felt so disappointed and disrespected because of the effort that I know I put into the marriage and like the amount of sacrifice. Like I don't have in my life a representation of marriage in understanding how a marriage is successful and happens. And so I was like winging it. And you hear things in like media, like you were talking about before, on TV shows or whatever, like, oh, you need to make sacrifices, you need to do all these things. And so those narratives like played a part in the sacrifices that I made in my personality. So my friend Christy, who I was talking to, she was one of the first people I told, but I told everybody at the same time. It was like I was putting drops in a bucket as I was trying to like figure out what I was going to do. I felt like extreme embarrassment, a tremendous amount of shame. I felt like frustration, but also I felt strong at the same time. Like I was like, I know I'm not doing this to myself. Like I'm a good human being. I'm successful. I'm smart. I have a lot to offer and all these different things. And if he doesn't feel that way, and also caring about him, I was like, if he's not in love with me in the way that he should be, or in the way that I'm in love with him, I just wish he went about it a different way. I don't think he wanted to get divorced, to be honest. Like he still doesn't really want to. He just doesn't have a choice at this point. And we're like, we can have conversations with each other. We can see each other now.
Well, I remember too, like when you've had conversations or texts, like you've always been very diplomatic about it. And, even as your friends, with Amanda and I too, there's times where one of us might get a little bit more upset.
True.
And you're like, well, and I think you've been really level-headed about it throughout this time.
Which is not like me. I'm a hothead most of the time. So thank you for saying that. Because honestly, it took a lot of effort to be like grown up and mature about this whole thing, even though it's like super hurtful.
Yeah.
But
don't you feel like that's part of this? Like, do you think that your response, like, should this have happened at 30?
Dude, I would have burned the garage down. Like, and I don't get me wrong, I thought about that. I had lots of offers for like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, does somebody need to
key his car?
Yeah. Does someone?
I offered to key his car.
Someone key his car. Someone offered to burn the
car.
Yeah. Someone offered to burn the garage down. Someone was like, I can step out of a dark alley, and do you know what I mean? Like, people were so.
People had your back.
Yeah. I felt really like supported. In both ways, though, like, people were angry. I could see the anger, and that was really helpful to me because I was like, okay, like, the way in which I'm feeling inside is what other people are feeling too, with some of the story, not all of the story.
Right.
And I was appreciative of that because it also meant that I didn't have to feel that way all the time. And then, so my friend Christy told me afterwards that she was very sorry that this was happening to me and all these kinds of things, like lovely friend things. But she said to me, I'm sorry I didn't say something to you earlier because what I watched happen over 10 years is your light get dimmed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck that. Mm-hmm. And so as I'm in my 40s with this second act, I'm like, that is unacceptable. Mm-hmm. So my light is coming back, the things I want to do, the way I want to do them, how I want to feel when I'm doing them, how I want to feel with the people that I'm doing those things
like
with.
You want to be intentionally present.
100%.
You want to be... and I think that's the thing about, like, as we hit this age, it is a halfway mark in some way, and hopefully not. Like, I want to be Betty White and go out that way, but, who knows? And I think sometimes we, at this age, as we get older, like the 50s probably too, we start to just, like we said, dial it down, but also think about what truly matters. And it's not a midlife crisis to me. It's what did I do that I enjoy that I didn't, or what are the things, like passion projects, like what I'm doing now that I want to get to and do, because if I don't do it, then that's the end of that. And
you'll never do it.
Right, exactly, right? Like for you going back to school, at this age, like you want to be paying off your house and doing the things that I'm sure you and your partner want to be doing and traveling. And you are like, well, I want to further my education to, expand my career opportunity. And I think, even today before you came, Amy and I were laughing at you because, you're right. You're running late. Well, even Carrie was, Carrie, my husband, was like, hey, you're running late. Or it was Amanda running late. And we're like, oh, she's a student. She's finishing up her noodles and handing in her assignment.
I finish my prototype PowerPoint.
Right. Mm-hmm. So how do you, when you hear Amy, like, how do you connect to that? How do you relate to where you're at and your part of your journey?
Yeah, well, I think it's not about a midlife crisis like you're saying. It's about intentionality, right? And I feel like
midlife opportunity.
Yeah, since turning 40, my give a fuck is less. I don't care. Like, when you're in your teens and 20s, you care so much about what other people think. You care about like everything, right? And I don't,
everything's a cause.
Yeah, exactly.
You're fighting for.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. And when I turned 40, my mom sent me a letter that I apparently had written to myself as part of an assignment in school. I didn't just do it.
Wait 1 second. Was it along your childhood school pictures?
No, it was not with those. Thanks.
If anyone ever has had the luxury, like I have, to see Amanda's trajectory from K to grade 12. Yeah, the hairdos on this one, I tell ya. Grade 3 was my favorite.
It was
still
80s.
my favorite.
Grade 3 is my favorite photo of
that was
myself.
The side pony. Side pony, right?
I think grade 3s were my unibrow and mustache was the thickest. So I would disagree with that. But sorry, back to what your mom sent you.
Yes, but she sent me a letter that as part of a school assignment in, I don't know, grade 8 or whatever. I think I was 14 or 15. We had to write a letter to our 40-year-old self.
Oh, this is cute.
And so she sent it to me on my 40th birthday. Oh. And so I opened it.
Tear.
And boy, was I wrong where I thought I'd be.
What did you write?
It was like, dear 40-year-old self, and when I'm 40, I want to be married with 2 kids.
Oh, yeah. Already failing that.
Right? Living somewhere nice or tropical.
Nope.
I live in fucking Alberta where it snows
Negative.
9 months out of the year. And like, yeah, like married to like some great guy who helps and cooks and cleans or some shit. Like,
Well,
so,
you got that
like,
at least.
Not really. So I'm
was
like
trying to
pretty
throw
much like
forward
0 for 4. And I was like, oh, great.
Your relationship's like the Canucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Zing.
You know? Hey man, they won.
I know the last couple.
Like
I
a
know.
couple.
I know.
Not the most recent
praise
one.
the Canucks.
but
I know.
Boring.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
beat the Leafs.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, so it was interesting to open that up and be like, oh well, that's because I had a plan when I was a teenager. I had a plan.
Also like Amy, right?
Like my life plan was be married like mid-20s. I always wanted to be married for at least a year before having kids.
Of course, makes sense.
My first kid I wanted by 28 because I
That
wanted
also
them
makes sense.
pre-30.
Yeah.
So my mom had me when she was 30. She was a
Yeah.
little bit
And
old for
30
that day.
at that time was geriatric.
It was
pregnancy.
Blanche.
Yeah, it was. That's right. Blanche.
Blanche from
Blanchy.
the Golden Girls.
To have-
Blanche level,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. So I wanted the first one, but before I was 30. And then, yeah, the plan was always school, get your master's, carry on. And none of that came to fruition at all. I called off a wedding
Yeah,
in
you
my
did.
mid-20s.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Figured calling off a wedding and foregoing the deposits was probably cheaper than divorce. But it's hard to say.
I can confirm.
Also walked away from a house as well that I dumped
Amy's
tens of
confirming over
thousands.
here.
Yeah. Divorce is expensive, I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and so then I found myself at 40, deciding, okay, you've waited long enough and procrastinated, and I'm a procrastinator by nature. Okay, you want to do your master's, get on with it and stop being afraid of not getting in or not being able to do it. Like, I'm Asian. I'm good at school. That's what I do.
She said it.
Right? Yeah.
So what would 41-year-old you go back and tell 14, 15-year-old you? Like if you were to write a letter back to yourself, what would you say?
That's a good question.
It's only kind of
Right? I think just don't plan so much and don't care so much about everybody else.
Yeah.
Just if it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it. And don't be afraid, I think, too. Like I don't like to fail at things, so that usually stops me from doing a lot of things.
Taking risks are hard.
Yeah.
Definitely. And, if you have all these voices that are telling you around you or you're telling yourself, like, it's very difficult to get out of that kind of thinking pattern, I guess. And we do it in all sorts of ways every day, and talking down or saying don't do this and that. And I think kudos to you to say, fuck it, I'm going to go back. Yeah. And I'm sure you're getting A's and A pluses in school. Do they still give those out? Or does everybody
I don't know.
pass
We don't have
and get a
grades
trophy?
yet, so there's no participation ribbons, though, that's for sure.
Okay, well, so you actually have to
And the threshold for, like, A's and stuff at University of Lethbridge is higher. So we'll see. But, hey, C's get degrees. So
C's get degrees. Yeah, I heard that.
That's right. I mean, Asians don't get C's, but C's do get degrees.
Well,
so
we'll
see.
see.
We'll see how
I'm
it
sure
goes.
you're doing so well because the work that you're doing,
It's applicable.
right? So
This is a
it's
lady
interesting.
who on Friday wears hoop earrings and swears like a sailor.
It's true.
And lets loose, and then now has made an active decision to go home and do schoolwork.
I know.
Yeah.
Every Friday. She's ruining my Fridays.
Right?
I am very unhappy about
Amy's
this
like, want to go for
schedule.
drinks? I'm like, I can't. I
Every
gotta go sit in
Friday.
class
I know.
For 5 hours.
I can't take it. When's this semester over?
Seriously, when's your winter break?
Early
my
December.
God.
There you
Okay,
go.
well,
we have a short
party.
window
Yeah.
where we can.
We're
get
almost there.
together.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
right.
That's
Only another
literally
month.
what I have to tell myself every day. Like,
Yeah,
it's
almost there.
whatever.
Yeah.
Almost there for a
Almost
whole year. That's like that is my motto. Like, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
Like I can do anything for one day or 1 week or whatever. Almost there. Almost there. Yeah.
Put that on a shirt.
What happens when you
Tube
get
top.
Tube top. We'll get tube tops. Almost there.
there? That's what I told you.
Right.
The amount of waxing that I have to go do to wear a tube top just ain't worth it anymore. My husband is happy with me as I am. I can only
He's a good
de
man.
Chewbacca
Yeah.
as much as I
The
possibly
only
can.
plus of menopause.
Is that you lose
Hair
it?
loss.
There
Yeah,
you
but
go.
I'm going to end up going bald. I'm not going to lose
Kieran,
it anywhere
It'll go from her
else.
head
Kieran
more
will
to
have
her
a
chest.
bald patch. And then get chest hair.
Kieran has had a bald patch.
What?
Oh, yeah, totally, on my side. And this was a few years ago, and I have a really good friend that's a doctor. We were taking our kids trick-or-treating, and Carrie was noticing something was up with me because I was, like, super, super stress that if he finds out that I'm
Carrie
balding,
is her husband, by the way, just for the record.
Yeah. If he finds out that I'm balding, then what the fuck? And so I'm, like you said, Amanda, right? You think so. I put this stupid thought in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm acting weird. I think he thinks I've got something wrong with my health because he's like, what is wrong with her? So I talked to my friend and she's like, oh yeah, that's super common, super normal. Also dry weather was kind of like getting to Halloween, wintertime. She's like, can cause it, blah, blah. I'm like, but you don't understand. I'm Indian.
Yeah.
Like,
you're hairy.
I can't have hair going. I have lots of other places hair can go, but not there.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, went to the doctor and got some eczema ointment. Mm-hmm. That's what I put on my bald patch. And I told my husband, so it's a good news story. I told my husband, and then he got mad at me for why I was afraid to tell him and said,
that's
don't
ridiculous.
ever do that again because I love you and
you're a lucky lady.
Wonderful lady in the world. So there's that. So yeah, I think what I think is really cool about what we're talking about so far is this vulnerability that starts to come out at this age. For so long, for me, it's never asking for help, or again, that, you know, expectation that you can do it all and you have to do it all, because I think we watch each other, you know, during the day put on this act or think we have to do all these things, and then we go into our houses and close the door, and then, you know, we don't get to see that side. And so being able to just sit and chat about the fact that, you know, you have this school thing going on, or I don't even have a job. So
super jealous.
You know, well, you know, there's a plus to that too, and it's a lot of plus.
But like a massive risk. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, and a big change, right?
Well,
like you were program manager, Kieran, for how many years?
I was there for like almost 18 years, like
Yeah.
17.
half your life.
Yeah, that's I got to our organization in my early 20s. I just moved to Calgary from Surrey with Carrie, and we were dating at the time, and I had just finished school. I was working at Shoppers in the photo booth, developing pictures. Got this job.
Being a creep.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. No, people were the creeps. I got stories.
Yeah, because cell phones didn't exist then.
Yeah, you had to develop photos, guys.
Photo developers have so much power because we abide by these laws, and so we can actually tell you, and I've had to tell people that I'm not printing this picture because I can tell you guys so many stories about it. And one involved a couple that lived in the building Carrie and I were living in.
The History of Dick Pics by Kieran McKay.
Right. I'll take you through the journey.
Only the good ones make it through.
Always.
She hands over the packet and gives the guy a wink.
I'm like lightening and darkening and brightening, sitting there, you know, like
zoom in.
Trying to help this fella increase his pictures, you know, appearance, but it's not working. But yeah, like, you know, coming to this job and then just stay there. And like I'd mentioned earlier, we all started there frontline, and, you know, and for me, my job was so important. And it was because growing up, my parents always, you know, being immigrant parents and having us as like first generation, education is any first generation kid, they're going to tell you their parents, no matter what, you need to go to school because we want your life to be better than ours, you know, whatever they think. And so you go to college, you go do all these things. And I wanted to be a counselor. Like and I knew I wanted to be a counselor when I had a very traumatic thing happen to me in grade 9. And I decided to just go see my school. And his name was Mr. Payne. Isn't that weird? Payne with the Y. But he was fantastic. And I was like, oh my God, I want to help people. This is crazy. So anyways, at work, I think, like you said, 40 was a difficult year for you, Amy. I think the added sort of like the added piece to that was COVID too, on top of this. And during the last 3 years, like I kind of talked about in episode 1 too, where I lost my voice. Like I had that incident happen at the National, and I just started to feel like I'm no one, and, you know, like I'm nothing. And so people at work were noticing, people in my life were noticing that I was starting to get quieter and quieter. And when you had touched earlier on the fact that people said that, you know, your friend Christy watched you lose that part of you, you know, I loved my job, and I thought as a minority mom, I wanted my boys to see this mom that's in her blazer, red lips, kick-ass, doing her job, because I thought I was pretty good at it. And, you know, I get to this place where I'm like, you know, not managing and balancing my life, that I'm present in my kids' lives. And I have a, almost preteen kid, and I want to be there and around. And so the only thing and the only way that I could do that was give up the career. And I toyed with it for a long time. It was really difficult because I thought that my career was my identity. I never identified, if people know me well, they know I'm not the mom. I'm not the wife. Like, I don't identify, like, I am my career, and my job was everything. And just like Christy, my mom, the day that I made my decision, and you guys know, Carrie and I had a really good friend in March pass away, and he was around our age, and his kids were like my kids' age, and it was very sudden. And when you turn 40, you start to also have these health realizations and scares. We're not going to weddings anymore. We're going to funerals or to the doctor to get sheets of blood work, and so I think Gary passing and all that sort of freaked me out a bit. And I also at the same time thought, like, what am I doing? Yeah. I love my job, but I don't. And so my mom, when I told her that I was resigning, she said to me, and the best way I can describe it is, when you are in a toxic relationship and your loved ones are around tolerating it because it's making you so happy, or at least that's what you're portraying. And when you break up or get divorced, they're all like, we never liked your partner anyway.
I know.
And so my family members are like, we've lost you. You're so consumed with your job. And that was hard to hear, because I love, like, it's not like I left my job because I was angry. I left my job because I wanted to put my family first. My husband's always said, your work is not going to be at your funeral. Right. And that's,
well, I will.
Well, but you're not my work.
No,
you guys aren't my work. I've met so many wonderful people like you, and I'm so fortunate to have friends, but you're not my work. You're not my chore, my job, right? And so, like, that was the thing. And so leaving there started to help me process, I think, a lot of what do you do and what risks do you take? Because if you don't do it now, then, you can't also get mad at yourself or other people later in life when you're like,
That was a part of the thought process when I thought about what I was going to do about the divorce too. Like, exactly what you just said. Like, here are all these people thinking all these things about me, about my partner or my husband, and about my relationship. And like, what are they going to think like afterwards? But also, like, I forgot what you just said. I'm sorry.
No, like, just about the I forgot to.
This is what happens. Get stoked on listening and then forget what the hell you were talking about.
But I think, like, something I'm pretty sure Gary used to say was, the grass is always greener where you water it.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And so, like, I think about, even for both of you making those decisions, like, you're putting yourself first and not caring what else other people say. So you're, and you're finally, instead of like being a bystander in your kids' lives, you're now an active participant. Like, I think one of the, I don't know what the right word is, but like that video you sent us of little, I think it was T.
Terrence,
with, I'm Kieran. He's got her shoes on. He's clicking. He's like on, I'm Kieran. Work. Yeah. I'm Kieran. Work. Yeah. Don't get off your electronics. Work. And it's like, it just reinforced, my gosh, that was, like, I made the right decision. You had already resigned. You weren't done yet, but you had resigned.
I made the decision.
But it was like, okay, that just reinforces.
Totally.
This was the right decision. Yeah. Because you don't want that to be how they remember you.
And it changed. Because like with you, Amy, too, right? Like, we have these routines. We have this sort of life that we're living. And then when we have this change of heart or something erupts that change, you're like, whoa. And it's this like little ripple effect, because it starts to make bigger waves and more, and you're thinking about it more, and you're seeing it from a different lens. And I think that's like the beauty of coming into this decade. It really is, like we were both saying, how can we be more intentional about the right things? Because the minute I freed up the space that my career was taking, it allowed me to actually deal with a lot of, like, personal stuff that I was putting aside, like, my body image issues, like big time, around how I've always had these issues that I we'll talk about again another time. But it really allowed me to start, you know, saying to myself, fuck, if I could go back and tell the 20-year-old Kieran, you know what I would tell her? Do the fucking nudes.
That's right. Like Moira.
Yeah, man.
Go take, just like Moira,
Yeah.
go take the boudoir shots, love your body, because this body is going to fuel you. It's going to help your mind thrive. It's going to be there for you when no one else is. It's going to allow you to experience pleasure in so many levels. And fuck, does that pleasure ever get better at this age?
Yeah.
Like, kudos to the sex life.
Yeah.
My poor sister-in-law gets so mad because I'll always be like, fuck, we just had a really, sorry, mom and papa, but just don't listen then, because I'm your daughter and you know I say these things. Man, we had a really good like, it just gets better. And so but it just, I think when we start to we finally in our 40s start to tackle the things that we have been living with and become immune to, so that we can actually deal with the right stuff.
Well, like, speaking about what you're just saying too, like, because now I'm having to like experience a sex life with someone and someone's that are
multiples.
Yeah. Not at the same time. I'm not into that. So like, don't write in. No,
No judgment.
I'm thought about it. No. But like needing to do that now too. And also being in your 40s where people are like, oh, you're not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't weigh 127 pounds anymore. My body is a woman's body. I have like, you know, I'm curvy. I'm not
There's stretch
super
marks.
skinny.
Yeah,
But like also.
Like today I was saying to Amy, I'm at a point in my life now where I'm like, should I start to bleach my butthole? I know I'm with the same partner, but like, should I? Because like, I don't know, you know.
My answer is
anyways.
for who? Is that for you or is that for him? Because I think the answer is different. But at the same time, in this experience, like, I also am realizing that a lot of the insecurities that I had when I was younger, and even in my marriage, because we met when I was young and I looked a particular way, that like that wasn't even going to be possible. And while I don't know that that was an issue, it's hard not to think it is when your husband cheats on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, cool. So now I have to like go and take all these risks with new people. And one of the gifts of these fucking dating apps or whatever, because that's how I'm meeting new people, is that like I've never felt better.
Oh,
I've never been reminded how beautiful I am, or how sexy my body is, or how great my tits are, or you know what I mean? Like that's a gift to me anyways at this point, because I haven't had kids. Not that bodies aren't beautiful after children. That's not what I'm saying, but I haven't had any, and my boobs sit beautifully. And I know that, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
And men like it, and I like that they like it, because that makes me feel good, and that makes me feel sexy, and that makes my sex life better.
Right.
And so there's some pros too to like learning new things, because new people coming into your life and seeing you in a way that's vulnerable, like it is a risk when you're 41 to like, you know,
well, making
engage.
friends at this age
get
is
naked
hard,
in front of a
let alone
stranger.
dating. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't do the crazy things that I like to do in my bedroom with a new person, because exactly like you're saying, like I feel like my body image issues, they would just get worse, because first of all, I tell Carrie, I'm like, listen, motherfucker, you're going to leave me. You're going to pay for my tummy tuck first, because I'm doing this whole thing where I'm starting to love myself, but like, I don't know if I can love myself when, you know, like I'm being honest. Like I think it's being very brave to go, and I don't think you realize it when you've been with, like, Ben and I've been with the same partner, like not literally the same partner, but our, you know, we have our own same partners. Yeah. And can you imagine like the new gourd, right?
I don't know, man.
You know?
No, it's
so I don't know how, like, on one hand it's like sounds exciting.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm like,
sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But it's like it's what I talked about before. It's like a choice. Like I'm like, I can choose to be anxious and nervous and self-conscious, which I still am, of course, like in some ways, or I can choose to like allow somebody to change my mind about something, or teach me something new, or do something exciting, or have fun in a way that I wanted to, that I didn't over the past 12 years, which I've like I've dated two people that I think are like pretty like significant. Like a decent amount of time to like get to know each other and whatever. And while those two people like didn't work out, like the things that happened in like my mind, because of those things are good things. So I'm like gifts along the way.
Yeah. Like what kind of gifts?
Gifts? No, I'm just kidding. No, that too, but
well, like
Just like, again, feeling good about my body,
How good are those gifts?
I have been very lucky that in both people that I've had sex with post-divorce have been fucking excellent. I mean the pun.
Wait.
Yeah.
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 That's the applause.
Shout out to those dudes. Yeah. And like, honestly, like, if I'm going to be blunt, like,
I mean, you might as well now.
Yeah.
We've talked about bleaching buttholes
Yeah,
at
true.
this point.
like, I was talking with Kieran earlier while we were chit-chatting. It was one of the conversations she told me to put a pin in. But, like, I'm, like, you know, like, single partner slutty.
Yes.
Like, I don't sleep around.
What is that? What is single?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't sleep with multiple people at the same time.
Right.
But I'm also not, like, I will, you know.
Yeah, you're getting yours.
Yeah,
But
I've
why is
slept.
that slutty? Why is that slutty, right?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If she was a dude, it wouldn't be slutty.
Let's put slut on the tube top. Let's
That's
make
right.
that word
Yeah.
back, right?
Yes.
It's, you know.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I'm
You're
not
just-
quite
you're just
going Amber Rose level, but
re-experimenting.
like, you know, I'm not going to march in the slut march, but I mean, I could. I think I'd meet the qualifications to do so. But yeah, I'm not being so risky that it's like dangerous. Like, I don't want my partners to be that way either. But also, I was like single partner slutty when I was young too. Like, I never thought I was going to be married. I didn't get married until I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Was I 30?
We wouldn't know.
yeah.
Another Amy story. Amy went
That's right, she
home
disappeared
from
for a
work
weekend.
one Friday and said, "Hey, everyone, have a good weekend."
bye.
And everyone's like, "You too, Amy. Well, what are you up to?" "Oh, you know, just going to make an egg salad sandwich and go check out this car show." Cool. Nah. "What about you?" "Yeah, you know, I'm going to do stuff and things." "Okay." And then Amy comes back Monday and she's fucking married. Again, two serial killer qualities. And they say Geminis. Like, I don't know how you're not a Gemini. 'Cause
I'm a
I'm a
Pisces,
Gemini, and
yeah.
they say Geminis we're serial killers.
Two personalities,
Yeah.
right?
But I
Two
don't
sides.
I don't know, you Pisces.
That's right. We're both Pisces.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And
yeah,
so
March babies.
so different and so similar at the same time. It's so interesting.
That is
actually.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're the early end.
Yeah,
the
I'm
late
right
end,
on the
I think,
cusp,
right?
so I think maybe that's it, like a
Yeah,
double
maybe,
personality,
yeah.
like my
Yeah.
moon and sun, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Start a line.
I don't
Your
have-
moon,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
sun,
when they align
Yeah,
and,
I don't
and
know.
Venus comes out and
Yeah.
Mars. I don't know.
Welcome to Amy's like
Yeah.
tarot card reading.
No way.
What's my fortune today, Amy?
I don't know, dude. Yeah. So I just was like, I've just been, I like had a healthy dating life. When I find my person, I'm like, you know, committed and all of that. Like, I prefer to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's tough right now too, because the dating pool is like people either who are like, have been in long-term relationships and have some hurt from that, which I respect because I'm in the same boat, or have been married and are divorced. A lot of the men that are like in my sort of pool have children. I don't have children. I don't know what it's like to be a parent. I parent children in like a surrogate kind of way at work. And so I can conceptualize how tough that must be. And I think that's a gift to those people because I can be demanding in
So are
terms.
you open to dating people with kids?
Yeah, I just finished dating.
I just wrapped up.
Literally this morning, wrapped up
wow.
a little 3-month like lovely relationship with someone who had kids. It was complicated and lovely.
Did you meet the kids?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which I felt like because things were going well, that if we were going to be making decisions about being in a relationship, that they had to be a part of that. Because like, what if I don't like your kids?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even like mine sometimes. So
Which is
Clearly your middle finger this morning.
like it's a massive possibility.
Yeah.
It's also a massive possibility that your children are not going to like me.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't think so. I think I'm pretty great. But yeah. And I also have a very good boundary. I don't need to be their stepmom, you know? Although I have to think about whether that is like a role that I want to take in the future. And I've had a stepmom and there was good things and bad things. So like, I think that's okay.
oh my God, I didn't even think that you would have to think like that.
Yeah.
So that's
Neither
going back to
did
what
I.
you said, the list, right? Like, yeah, are you going to date? That makes sense. I was thinking like
Yeah.
physical, but you're thinking deeper in terms of
Well,
you
and
date
if
someone with
if I'm
kids.
in a relationship with someone who has children, I'm now also in a relationship with the mother of those children.
Oh, damn right.
She never goes away.
No.
and I'm actually doing
okay
a blended
with that.
family episode coming up soon.
Yeah. So like
there's complications.
yeah. So I found myself in this relationship, which was really lovely. So I don't want to like talk bad about this person because it was lovely, but it was complicated. Like
Yeah.
I had to be really flexible and really attentive to like
If I was the mother of those children, Let me tell you, speaking,
know.
I don't know how I would do it because I feel like I would be the same. Like for the sake of my kids, I don't want to be that way.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2.
Understand the secrets between you and
it's hilarious.
And hopefully
And the
thousands of people, millions of
Yeah.
people.
It's hilarious. So Reza, I don't know if I should say his name. Oh, too late.
Yeah, well,
Who is my husband of 10 years, together for 12. Ex-girlfriend prior to me, long-term relationship's name was Amy.
Oh.
My name is also Amy. And the person who I was just dating's ex-wife's name was Amy.
Oh my God,
And
this
I
is
mean,
like 6
that's how
degrees
guys
of
just keep it
separation.
simple, so
And
you
I
don't scream out the wrong name.
I only found out like a few weeks in. He like pulls me aside and is like, "Listen, I just need to ask you something. I think you might be upset." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" Like, and it's at this juncture.
Did you think that he was
You're
going
like,
to
"Oh,
ask
God."
you if you've ever been treated for gonorrhea?
I didn't know what was going to happen.
I have herpes.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh Jesus." Okay, so he says, "I just need to tell you that my ex's name is Amy too," and I was like, "You thought I was going to be upset about the name of your ex-wife?" And he's like, "Well, is it weird?" And I was like, "For me? Is it weird for you?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, kind of." And I was like, "Okay, so like, do I need a nickname or something?" Trying to be funny, but he was like, "No," and it wasn't a thing. But like, I don't know. Like, what is the universe trying to tell me here?
It's a good question.
Yeah, I
What
have no
is the
idea.
universe trying to tell you?
But anyway, I forgot why I was talking about these people because I was
we're
dating
talking
them.
about
Yeah, sorry.
And
So
being
yeah,
like single slutty.
it was great.
The sex.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it was because it was like, okay, it's like post marriage, like, not that everybody's marriage sex is boring. I know Kieran's isn't. She tells us about it all the time.
Right?
Go Carrie, high five.
Yeah.
No middle fingers up for you. But
Different things are up for
Oh my God. I deserve that.
Kieran's skirt in the morning. No, just kidding. Yeah, I got really lucky that it was really good. But I was saying earlier too, like, I've been super fortunate in the fact that like most of my sexual experiences with the people that I've dated and have pretty much all been really good, which is I'm grateful for that.
Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
Maybe
your, maybe your lady parts can really.
Maybe it's platinum.
the platinum vagine.
my platinum vagine. No, well, this fellow was a giver.
Oh, good.
And
And
it
you
was
were,
great.
And you were a receiver.
And I was receiving. Oh, yes. And I am very grateful because it was lovely. It was a great time. I'm going to miss that tremendously.
It is nice to have. It's like going on vacation when someone plans it out for you.
Yeah, it's like an all-inclusive.
There's some vacations where you want to plan out, and then you go to all-inclusives where you get good stuff.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you come back satisfied.
Yeah.
Like, you got a glowing tan going here. I know you just got back from Disney, but
California.
you got to go.
Yeah. I got my tan in California.
We all got back from Disney at separate times.
So weird.
How weird.
In our 40s, we all also went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
In
Like
a matter of
week
weeks.
apart.
Yeah.
We should have left little notes for each other.
Yes.
Scavenger hunt.
That would have been like hidden
Little
Mickeys.
Easter eggs.
Hidden Mickeys everywhere.
With middle fingers.
Yes.
Mickey's glove with middle fingers.
What a
on
missed
them.
opportunity for
Next
all of
time.
us.
Yeah.
Next time.
I'm
when
never
we're
going back
gonna
to
spend another
Disneyland.
$12,000
No.
just for
Oh my God.
accommodations.
Disney was amazing. Shout out to Disney. I am never going back to Disneyland.
Yeah, it's like, once or twice or thrice. Or for me, it was my fourth time, but I'm not bragging.
If I had kids, maybe. I did go. I had an amazing trip with like really good friends and went with some kids and saw like pure joy in children's eyes, which
I don't
was
know. I
amazing.
actually think Disney without kids would be really good too.
Yeah.
Especially if your kids are really young. When your kids are a bit older, I think maybe, but I think I saw some couples there and I was like, yeah, man.
I went. Jeremy and I went.
Right. Okay, there you go.
When we first moved to Calgary. Just the two of us went at spring break.
Fun. Oh,
Fuck me.
Oh
Don't
my
ever go
God.
at spring break. But it
was good, hey?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Because, you don't have to pack snacks. You don't have to worry about carrying a child. There's pushing those
Stroller.
fucking
double
strollers and the
wide
scooters.
strollers
Oh,
at
yeah.
Disney
And
is
the scooters,
unacceptable.
The amount of...
My sister heard a
Figure it
mom
out.
say to her, like, 13-year-old coming back from the bathroom. She was running to the mom, and my sister literally watched this, and she's like, don't run, you'll sweat, and then you won't look pretty.
Oh, my God.
She's not wrong.
Oh, my God.
That's what's going on my tube top.
Yeah.
She's not wrong.
Sweat.
You won't look pretty.
Well, my ex made me sweat.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Sweat
And you
on
probably
my
still
balls.
looked pretty.
I think so.
Videotape it? Would you videotape it? Would you have videotaped in your 20s versus now? Sexual intercourse?
Ooh, good question. I think I was always smart enough to know that if anybody got their hands on that video, it would be a problem. So no, I would not.
Like if it got on ICQ or
Anywhere.
like MySpace?
Anywhere, yeah. Mark, Tom, who's your friend on MySpace, that guy?
Oh, I don't know.
You know-
I actually didn't do MySpace.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
I gave up around
I did
that time.
ICQ.
I did
though.
ICQ too. Yeah.
And I think it's Tom is like your first friend. He's the guy who like
invented
invented
it?
MySpace, and there's like a picture of a dude on a computer looking back over his shoulder.
so lame.
And it's like the #1 video. And
Okay,
like,
but would you make a video at 20 or 40? A sex video?
no.
No? You know she has one out there with that answer. What about you, Amanda? Would you?
Can I just say that one of the gifts that I gave to the person who I just was seeing most recently,
Yes.
in my time away, I made a commitment to like stay. We like came up with like, not like a game, but whatever. But there is a picture of my boobs in every public bathroom at Disney.
Oh, you took a
No, I
picture
didn't
of
leave
your
it there,
boob- Oh,
but I was in the stall
love
and
it.
would send him a picture, like a booby picture
I'm
for
actually
fun.
quite upset that I didn't get any.
He didn't think that I would, and I told him that I would, and every day, multiple times a day, he
That's
would
hilarious.
check his phone, and it would be my
Your
boobies.
big
Yeah.
boobies.
But you know what I
love
learned in
it.
this process? I guess WhatsApp is a thing. Everybody else knows about it. I didn't know what it was, whatever. But you can send photos on WhatsApp that you only get to see one time, and then they're gone. They're
Oh, on
encrypted.
WhatsApp?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm sure that's
So-
on Snapchat.
No, not. I think it is Snapchat too, but I
Welcome
refuse to be on.
technology
Yeah.
with the 40-year-olds. Except for Amy. She knows all the technology.
Yeah, so I didn't know about this, but I learned about it before I left because we also had a business meeting one time. We scheduled a fake business meeting for a review of TPS reports. If you watch The Office, you know what that means.
Yeah, Office Space.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we because he is a Samsung user, as you guys
We're
are,
Androids too.
I'm
Android for life.
and I'm an Apple. We can't FaceTime, but I learned that on Zoom, being naked on Zoom is actually illegal. But we did not get arrested, and our TPS report meeting went only fair to good, being our first.
Such a different Amy that
I love it.
like the world now the world listens. Those that are listening are learning about Amy for the first time in ways that Amanda and I are too. Like this is such an amazing journey, and I'm sorry to say it that way because I don't want to discredit
No.
the process that you've gone through, but from sitting in our office, and Amanda and I saying, dude, we gotta get you on a date. I'm like, I'm an excellent wingman.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And, you're obviously in that place of, fresh out of this relationship. You're healing, and now talking about your Zoom meetings and I think I
And
heard
titty
you tell
pics.
me too earlier that you guys were doing it in the office on the desk too.
Yeah, we had a plan. The Office. That's actually why we broke up. Funny enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
this was not like I didn't know. Sorry,
We had plans for.
we never finished that story.
Yeah, we had plans for Friday, which is today,
That is
actually.
today,
Like
yeah.
we were gonna hang out later. I forgot it was a holiday, but whatever. And we ended up hanging out on Wednesday instead, and spent some time together. And as I was leaving, I was like, oh, hey, so like, what are we gonna do on Friday? Like, it's exciting. We have like some time to spend because again, I mentioned like he has kids, and so I was like working around that schedule pretty frequently. And Friday was like, the time that we could like spend together and spend overnight because his kids are with their mom.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, so, I don't know about Friday. I think I'm going to just hang out and clean my office.
What?
And that wasn't like
No.
like
No, we
ooh,
had
come,
plans.
Like, role play. Come
No.
be the cleaning lady.
Or was that I'm going to wash my hair tonight?
It's the new.
Yeah.
It's the new.
So cleaning my office.
Sorry, I can't come out tonight because I need to wash my hair. So, yeah, my new breakup move.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know who you are. Is going to be, sorry, I can't come out tonight. I'm
cleaning
sorry,
my
I need
office.
I need to cancel our plans actually because I'm going to clean my office.
Oh. How do you break up?
So I sent him a message that night and I was like, so is I need to clean my office like code word for you're cleaning it so we can fuck on the desk. Like, I'm really confused
Yeah.
about you breaking
Yeah.
plans with me
Especially when time is so
to clean your
limited.
office. Exactly. When I feel like, so then I thought about it and I was like, he responded to me and whatever, like, he's entitled to his own space. He's entitled to feel however he wants. But I just like, I could feel in my bones, like in my like intuition that like something wasn't right. And like, we're both divorced. We're going through this in the same time. We both weren't single for that long. Like you said, like one day I flipped a switch and was like, I'm signing up for Tinder.
Yeah.
Because I deserve to have someone and I don't want to be alone because I shouldn't have to be. Yeah. And like, I want someone to care about me. And so I called him this morning and just said, you know, this like really hurt my feelings. And like, this is like a new adventure for both of us and it's complicated and we have all these things and you have much more going on with the kids and like all these other things. And I respect that. But this is how I feel. I feel like I've been sacrificing my time or being flexible in what I'm giving to you. I feel like we have a great sex life. We have a lot of compatibilities. Like things are really good, but also it's like pretty intense and whatever, but like something's changed and I deserve to be with somebody who will drop everything in their free time to be with me, especially when the free time is limited. And if that's not you, then I don't want to do this anymore. And he was good about saying like, I'm really sorry. This is like intense. Like, I don't know why we're breaking up really. Like, I don't know if he got scared. I don't know if it's too intense. Soon, maybe, like, I don't know that like, that's for him to think about and for me to think about. But what I do know is like, I'm not willing to spend time with somebody who isn't prepared to like be crazy about me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm fucking 41 and I deserve to be happy and I want someone to be happy with. And that just needs to happen. And cleaning your office on a Friday instead of fucking me is like not reasonable. Well, and also, I like for the record, I'm like pretty disappointed about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sad
Especially
about
when,
it.
like there was like electricity and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also get it. Like it's oops. Can't edit that out. Damn pen.
Pen roll.
I think like you said though, he's going through something similar too.
Yeah.
So it must be this push pull, right? And at this time of you have all this individual time, you have this kid time, and he's only known what the time was like with this partner. Yeah. And now you're both fitting each other into your own schedule because you're not even at that place yet where you can make your own together. You know, like you're trying to fit him into he's trying to fit. And so I would imagine that could be quite irritating, but also complicated. And it sucks because it sounds like it was going well.
Yeah.
You know,
which is like the craziest thing. You always think like, oh, you're going to break up because things are like not going well. That's not the case, which I'm also grateful for. Like, it's nice to just say like, I really enjoyed this time. I really enjoy you. Yeah. I think you're fantastic. This time is not the right time. Yeah. And it is what it is. Yeah. Whereas like before, if you were like in your 20s or your 30s, like you would do what I did with my husband, like change something about myself, change something about what I want, make an adjustment to like what I think I should be doing in order to like maintain a relationship. And I'm not saying I'm just going to like break up with people if they're not perfect or they don't give me what I want.
But it's like valuing your own time because no one else is going to do it. No. And we're, again, like we said at the beginning, like so accustomed to taking care of other people and, you know, being in this age bracket. Now it's okay, what can I do for myself? Like even I recently did these boudoir shots and I've been wanting...
They're so hot, by the way.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but my body was never good enough. And, you know, next year I'll try again. Then you have kids. And then I just recently got to this place where I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking do them. And I was going to do them for Carrie. And this photographer had this call out 40 for 40. So 40 women at the age of 40 and up to do these shots. And I was like, oh my God, this is good because I fit that bracket.
The universe.
Right. You know, and the interesting thing is like throughout that process, I was like, you know what? I'm actually doing these for me. Like I'm happy my husband loves them and feels they turned out great. But I get to that place where this is not for anyone else. Like I would imagine for you too, Amanda, like going back to school or some of the things that you're doing right now at this time, it's like, this is for me, not for anyone else. And it's kind of liberating to be able to go there and do that even though sometimes it feels like we're selfish, but are we?
Well, why can't we be?
Can't you have both? Can't you have cake and eat it too?
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, though, is
I
because
fucking hope so.
right? We haven't been allowed to be, or not allowed, maybe isn't the right word, but we felt like we can't be selfish.
Yeah.
And now we're actually doing things for ourselves and still have that feeling of, oh, I'm being selfish. Fuck that. Do you think he thinks he's being selfish because he cleaned his stupid fucking office first? Like,
Guys, maybe his office is really dirty.
It is.
And he just really wanted to clean it.
they clean it on work time, man.
Yeah.
That's unethical, Amanda.
Is it, though? I don't know.
Listen, today is a holiday. He could have cleaned his office all day, and then I could have had sex on his desk all
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's his
All
loss.
night long.
Exactly.
night. It's his loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
it is what it is.
This desk's pretty sturdy here too, baby. So have at it if you want to borrow it anytime. On that note, is there? Because I feel like we can keep talking.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys wish that I had asked or that we talked about, or that you want to share? Maybe one piece of advice that you would give to someone that is nearing 40 or going to get there. Like, what would you wish that you were told that you can tell them?
Talk about it.
Talk about this.
Well, just
this
talk
transition?
about all of it, right? Because I think that's what
Yeah.
we all said was nobody talks about the taboo subject. Nobody talks about your period. Nobody talks about menopause. Nobody talks about like your body changes in your 30s, in your 40s, and all that stuff. And like, stop being afraid to talk about it, and stop hiding your tampons.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Right?
Kieran.
We're going to get to that one.
I feel like,
I like it. Stop hiding your tampons.
in my 20s, I like, if I could go back and tell myself in my 20s, like some advice, I'd be like, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, just have lots of fun and like look for the lessons, because while I was doing all the things I was doing in my 20s, I wasn't looking for lessons. I was just having a lot of fun. And I'm really grateful that I did that. I'm really grateful that I let myself do that because I did have a lot of fun. I had a lot of experiences. I learned a lot. And then in my 30s, I would tell myself, like, it's a great time. Like, you start to feel successful. You start to feel smarter than you've ever felt. Hopefully you're starting to make decent money.
Sometimes it's like, I remember turning 30 and being like, I feel like people are going to start taking me seriously.
Yeah.
I'm an adult now.
Because I'm 30.
Dude, I have imposter syndrome though. Like I was talking about this last night. Like I am like a highly effective professional in a lot of ways, and I am a giant child. Like I don't know how I am allowed to do some of the things that I do, because sometimes I feel like can't they see me? Like, it's kind of funny, but
It's like an illusion.
yeah, but also like there becomes like maturity and risk taking.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the risks you took in your 20s are like not
They're impulsive. You don't
Yeah,
have anything
you
to
don't-
lose,
There's not a lot of thought.
essentially.
Yeah.
That you maybe not in the moment, because like I know when we were in our 20s, it's like this feels like a lot, but I think as we get older, because I don't want to take away from that either, but now looking back, it's like today's risks, there's a lot more to lose in some ways, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe every age bracket you're in, you think, oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
you know.
Yeah.
I think I'd love for you guys to come back if you're willing to, because I've read this list about the things that we start to learn when we're 40, like, when you bend down and you make that noise or whatever.
What?
That, don't you ever bend now and you're getting up and there's always like that,
It's like a crack
like that
or-
sigh or something. And so I was reading this funny list and I was like, oh my gosh, we could totally add to this. So I would love to come back and do like a list of the things that people didn't tell you, but the actual, like accidentally farting in public.
What?
No, not me.
No.
Well, I mean, I peed my pants, but that's my pee issues.
Yeah.
But so would you guys be willing to come back and do like this little list thing again?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us. If anyone has any questions or anything that they would like to share, please email me at info@MFU podcast. You can also hit me up on my Instagram account, MFU podcast. Usually my sister-in-law Nana does this part, so hopefully I'm doing it right. Apart from that, thank you so much for coming on, ladies. And I can't wait to go out and grab a bite.